And this Carlton Gorge through this mountain range here called the Carboid Ranges, and then to Kununurra, and then through the diversion dam, which is that dam you can see out there. You can just see it in the end of the picture. And if you've driven in from the west, you would have driven across it. And then the river goes for another 100 kilometres and goes out into the Cambridge Gulf in Wyndham. So as I said, what we've done is we've dammed the river in two places. One there, and that one's created Lake Kununurra, which is the lake we're on now. Now it is still, and it doesn't look like much of a lake on here, especially when you compare it to this one, but it is still considered a lake because what we've done, we've raised the water level on a permanent basis. So this water level we have here right now stays the same all year round, regardless of how much it rains or how much it doesn't rain. Now I'll explain a bit more about that in a minute, but what we have here is a much bigger lake, obviously, that holds an incredible amount of water. And basically, why we made this lake higher, because, sorry, I should explain, this green stuff here is all the irrigated farming land. So I've got 5,000 acres here, we've got 35,000 acres here on the Ivanhoe irrigation plain, and that was opened up in the 1960s when this dam was built. So how it all works is by raising this lake here that we're on now, we've raised it about 12 metres. And by doing that, it's actually higher than this farming land. So all we had to do then was dig a hole, dig a channel out the side of the lake, which is just down there near the pump house. I'll show you that as we go out. But there's basically a big long channel which goes all the way and it keeps going further, and actually they've extended it because they've opened up more farmland. And the water just flows out of Lake Kununurra, so we don't need to pump it or anything. Because this is a little bit lower than this, we literally just use gravity for the water to flow out the side, out of this channel. And then there's lots of little channels where it can go onto farms. And then the farmers, when it gets to their farms, they can use it as they like as well. So we don't have to pump it at all, it's just gravity. And that's why we've raised this lake to this level, and that's why we keep it at this level, so we can always have water flowing out of it. Now, we can only keep it at this level because of this big reservoir. So this is Lake Argyle, created in 1972, and it's basically, we use it as a big bucket. Think of it, so we can always pour water into this system. Now, we have a hydro power station here where the water goes through, and we're producing power for Kununurra, Wyndham and the Argyle Diamond Mine, and we're producing that all the time. So there's always water coming out of this lake to keep this system at exactly this level. In fact, we let too much into this system, so some of it has to go through that diversion dam. And that's why if you see on the other side of the dam, you'll see water going through. So all year, there's water going out of that. It just varies how much. Because if Lake Argyle's over full, we have water going out the spillway, and if anyone's driven up to Lake Argyle, you would have seen the spillway, and we're actually going to drive into the bottom of the spillway. So the spillway is for Lake Argyle, and it overflows when Lake Argyle is over 100% full, which it is now. There's 23 times the volume of Sydney Harbour in Lake Argyle at the moment, and full is 21 times the volume of Sydney Harbour. So it's overflowing, and it'll just keep overflowing until it gets down to that full level. But then it'll keep going down because we keep using the water to generate power and irrigate this farmland. So yeah, an easy way to think of it, this lake stays the same all the time, and this one's always going up or down. So if it's raining, it's normally going up. If it's not raining, we're using the water, or it's overflowing and it's going down. So quite a unique system in terms of the whole thing works by gravity. We don't pump it anywhere. So this is the highest. We use the river as the conduit to get water from this reservoir out onto these flat irrigation plains. And you know, after the farmers have used it, it flows back into the river and then keeps going out to the Cambridge Gulf near Wyndham as well.
Are they on the farmers on a metre system? Or?
Yeah, they pay for their water, yeah. They pay $6.80 per megalitre for 1 million litres. Which is very cheap if you're talking about irrigated farming schemes around Australia. Yeah. The Murray-Darling, for example, in times of drought, farmers are paying up to $1,200 for a megalitre of water. So, but that's the idea of this whole thing. We have so much water, and we have the ability to store it and release it. So the farming is meant to have cheap water. That's the idea of it. Because there's other problems with the farming, like we're 3,000 kilometres from anywhere. So, you know, selling your produce, you have to consider that cost. That freight cost is restrictive. So while there's good growing conditions, the soil's very good. You can grow a lot of things. we are still 3,000 kilometres from most markets, because most of the produce grown up here is sold into the southern cities, Perth, Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney.
They can't fly it out?
It's all economics. Like depends on what it is, yeah, and its cost, yeah. Again, most of it goes out by road train. Yeah. So they're great. Lots of things have been tried over time. Originally rice and cotton were big ones, but they were both failures in the 60s and 70s. Cotton failed because of the Heliosis moth, and rice failed because the magpie geese came down from the Northern Territory, had a bit of a taste of it, really liked it, went back, told all their friends, and then everyone came down and flattened the place. So, yeah, lots of things have been tried. At the moment, 40% of it's taken up by sandalwood, which is a little bit of a controversial crop. But a lot of the farming area, and if you drive through it, you'll see sandalwood plantations. There's actually lots of different trees in the sandalwood plantations. Because the sandalwood's a parasitic plant, so its root systems need to latch onto another tree to get its nutrients. Sorghum, they grow here. Your tropical fruits have always gone well here. Your mangoes, your pawpaws, things like that. Pumpkins, they grow here. Avocados. Chia, it actually provides half the world's chia supply, the Ord Valley. So they've been growing that for the last 4 or 5 years, and that's been going very well. So the land can grow a lot of different things, but what drives it is the economics of how much they can sell it for, including transportation costs. Yep. So this little bit here is a bit of an exception. This is actually higher than the river. So we do have a pump station here which pumps the water up 7 metres, dumps it in a channel, and then it's gravity irrigated from there. So all this land is lower than this raised height, but this one is a little bit higher. So we'll actually pass that pump station. I'll stop and show you.